Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. I am super excited to be here today. And my guest, Deni Van, one of my beautiful soul sisters, is here with me. I've been wanting to get her on the stage for, I don't know, a few years. But I'm so excited that she has chosen to join us today. So Deni, let the people know who you are and what it is that you do and how you can help them. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Tammi. I do a lot of things. You can call me Fletch.
I love it. I love it.
I know before we even started, we were already cracking up,
Exactly.
It's like, okay, well, basically, I'm a linguist. I've been a professional linguist for over 25 years. I've been a Reverend since I was pregnant for my first child. So I was 21, so over 30 years.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it went through a time where I was anti-Christian anything, and I didn't want Bible, nothing to do with it or anything like that. And then it was before everyone's world changed in 2001,
Yes,
I got cancer. Yeah. So it was in June. And then September, it's like, okay, the whole world is falling apart,
Yes.
And I had some serious internal work that came up, it's like, okay, no, I don't want to do that chemotherapy, radiation stuff. And I was told.
So did you?
No, I said no. I was told I'd be dead in 2 years. So I had something else to do. I found a surgeon who removed the tumor.
Mm-hmm.
I found an oncologist who was willing to work with me. And she said I needed a plan. And that's when Dr. Mercola came in my life back then, when he was still seeing patients. And I began using and learning EFT and really working on the stuff. It's like, man, there's so many inside this meat suit. You wouldn't believe it.
Yes.
So I learned to really take a look at, oh my gosh, this stuff is coming up. The one thing we want to do is push away and not look at it.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned when we do that, that's where cancer comes from.
Oh.
Pushing it back down, pushing it back down, pushing it back down. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink of water.
Yes. This is the conversation, because I have been studying this stuff as well for the last few years. Matter of fact, I got about 18,000 books right here, right now, because I truly believe that. I know that the thoughts that you think can cause disease. And I tell people, I was like, you holding on to that unforgiveness and that bitterness and all of that stuff is causing disease. All right.
So after being told, you don't do this, you'd be dead in 2 years. And I'm thinking, okay, my kids were 6 and 12 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, they're going to be 8 and 14 when I'm dead, right?
And you're like, who's going to get them?
Yeah. And I didn't even think about those things. All I was thinking about was what I needed to do for me.
Yes.
And this meat suit, which was a mind shift, because I was in Chicago modeling agencies, and, it's all about the body and the look and, and, the thoughts about your body, which are so horrible, you wouldn't even say that to another person or a child, So I had a lot of stuff that I had to get through. And one of the things that I recognized right at the beginning was I needed to integrate this unprocessed stuff. And, we were talking about the first thing we want to do is stuff it back down.
Yep.
That's our inclination, our tendency to stuff that shit right back down. It's like, no, I ain't going there.
Yeah. So, we don't even want to look at it.
Exactly. And as I'm making these decisions about my health, all of this stuff is coming up in my reality. And one of the first things I needed to learn was to say no, because I'm the second oldest of 8 children.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got you.
So I had to learn to say no to a lot of things. And, before getting cancer, I was on the board of interpreters for the state of Illinois. I was doing all of this stuff. I was involved in a deaf church and just so many things going on. And then boom, you have cancer. Okay.
Yep.
Everything has to drop and you have to reprioritize. All right. What is important to me?
Yes.
What can I say no to? And one of the things I learned, my poor husband, is saying, let me talk to my husband first. And 9 times out of 10, he was clueless, right? But it was just enough to create this space.
Yes.
To come back and say, okay, I've got too much on my plate. I can't, I have to say no to these things.
Yes.
And this was the beginning of healing. And this is past June. I've celebrated 21 years since that.
Yes, that's right.
And faith, I for a while there, I turned away from the teachings, or I shouldn't say the teachings. The teachings,
the
are
doctrine
there, but the people who run it.
Yes.
The men involved.
Yes, I got you.
The men who suppress the women and tell them, you're not spiritual enough. Wait a second.
Yes.
What does that
or
even mean?
Or you know what? You're not supposed to speak. You're supposed to be seen and not heard. These things. Yes.
Yes. So I kind of threw the baby out with the bathtub kind of thing.
Yes.
So after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm studying neuro-linguistic programming, how the body responds. I've, been a licensed massage therapist and I love the human body, cranial sacral therapy, all of these things that I learned, I applied to myself first.
Yes.
So as someone who has gone through and self-educated and taught myself, so some of the things that came to me were literally put in my path. All right, this is the next step I have to take. So I'm learning these things. And one of the first things I learned was Reiki. And what is Reiki? It's a freaking form of prayer. You're putting yourself in a state of open to receive and give.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, well, here's prayer again, even though I'm trying to push that part away.
Right.
And I realized it wasn't that. It was, I had some trauma, some stuff that I was stuffing down that kept coming up every time somebody would talk about prayer or talk about God or talk about, have you seen Jesus? Have you discovered Jesus? Have you found Jesus? It's like, no, get that shit away from me. And now with this shift, this state of prayer, when we come into this state, we have to be very cognizant of what we bring with us.
Oh, wow.
Because if we're bringing in with us thoughts of lack, thoughts of unwanting things into this powerful state of prayer, especially when 2 or more are gathered in his name, you're creating this powerful state. And if we're not conscious of the thoughts we're bringing in with us in these states, what we're doing is we're bypassing the mind and we're going straight to the subconscious and the unconscious, right? And it is a system wherein the Bible says, and the word went out and it comes back fulfilled, right?
Yes.
So this is within us because we're made in the image of God. So this system is within us. So as we put our wants and desires out, it comes back fulfilled. So we create this state of sending and receiving. We are sending and receiving transmitters. So science now calls this the reticular activating system, right? Except, when you're in this state of prayer and you see, whatever image you see there to come to you, even though the 3-dimensional world is showing me I'm going to be dead in 2 years. I have this very fast spreading cancer that even to this day, I'm banned from donating blood. It's like, so it's like, okay,
So you were able to heal that cancer without chemotherapy, radiation, all that crap.
Yes. That is correct.
God,
I removed the tumor. I removed the tumor, and that's it. My oncologist, for the first 2 years, I went every 3 months, then every 6 months, then once a year, and then 5 years. She said, "I don't want to see you anymore." And I said, "Okay."
That is so awesome. That's so awesome.
You know, other things come up. You know, it's been 21 years. Oh my gosh. And, you know, as I get older, I realize that this meat suit has certain needs than what my mind thinks it needs. So
yes,
there's kind of this learning process going on as I get older. And then looking to the Bible and go, oh, you know, fasting is a regular thing in a lot of spiritual practices.
Yes.
I wonder why. And then you do it.
Yes.
See, just like any awakening, I can tell you about my experience, but until you experience it.
Yes.
Just like Jesus said, don't take my word for it. Go and try it out yourself, right?
Yes. Well, and then didn't he say greater works than these will you do?
Yep. Especially together when 2 or more are gathered.
Yes. The thing is, and I think people discount that. You know, they don't even consider, you know, like people, because people always, for me, I used to get calls all the time, and I still do. Can you pray for me? And even my patients, sometimes they feel, and they're like, you pray, don't you? And I say, yeah. I said, I consider myself a walking prayer. So what do you need? You know? But I think that a lot of times people would discount that and not realize, hey, that's 2 or more coming together. So God is there. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's almost like, to me, it's like a reverence for that. You know, when you gather together and you come together in co-creation, and, you know, it's like a reverence. It should be a reverence, you know? And I think that we don't always look at it that way.
Exactly. And you mentioned an important word, co-creation.
Yes.
And, you know, when we're that 2 or more gathered in my name, this co-creation is a conscious endeavor, you know, to reach out and co-create. And we can program this within ourselves. And so over time, and self-study and learning and research and trying and doing, you know, over the years, I've learned the importance of bringing 2 or more together. And so we can do this within ourselves by bringing our heart and mind together.
Oh, nice.
So once you bring the heart and mind together, whether you and I come together and we create this energy field around us that science calls coherence, or you bring your mind in coherence with your heart. This creates our 3-dimensional reality where things are drawn to us. And we can create that coherence drawing to us the good things or drawing through us the lack of things. It depends on what is in your mind and heart when you bring it together into that space of coherence. So you can call it prayer, you can call it hypnosis, you can call it shifting, whatever you call it when you come into this state of consciousness.
I love that. I love that because I love that. I love that. It seems that I've been talking to a lot of people lately that have been like, have gone through a lot of different type of traumas. And it's amazing to listen to their stories about how they were able to navigate, and some realized that there were lessons that they needed to learn, you know, different things. And it's awesome to see, you know, how people are waking up to that, because I think in the years past, we wouldn't have woken up like that. And then to me, the courage that you had for, you know, deciding to take control and ownership of your own damn body, even with, you know, this condition, this disease in it, you know, just taking responsibility for that, to me, that's huge. And I believe that so many of us, I think that's the reason why, and this is something that I've been on for the past little bit, But I need to share this with you real quick, because when you were talking about what you were dealing with, I had looked up asthma. So asthma in the metaphysical is trying too hard to please others, wanting to be perfect, difficulty saying no, standing up for yourself and expressing how you feel, pushing yourself to the limit until you feel exhausted and out of breath, feeling weak, anxious, and disempowered, allowing others to control you, feeling hurt, stuck, and caged. So I was like, wow. I mean, you sit down and you listen to that and you look at, because what you were saying, I was like, damn, this is what she's she's saying. She was taking on too much, doing too many things and being too many people, And I think that so many times we don't realize that stuff takes a toll on us. And just like you said, as you grow older as well, you got to figure out a way to manage that thing, or just like you said, give it to God, and say,
and
you know what,
it.
I need you to transmute it.
Feel it. Because when I was told, basically, I was yelled at, what are you could be dead in 2 years. So when I was told that there was just something inside, and I could feel it being pointed in the direction of fear, which is what the doctor wanted me to feel.
Yep.
Was fear.
Yes.
But there was this tiny little voice inside that said, that's not for you. Wow. And so I didn't know what was. But it did take courage to listen to that voice and not go down the path of fear, because of course the doctors know it all, right? And saying no, and then listening and following through with that no, and honoring my choice.
Yes, that's the huge part for me, because I honestly say that all the time. Matter of fact, my husband and I talk about that. I said, I don't think that if they found something like that, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing it, because I think it's just a fast way to kill you. Because I mean, you think about it, you're killing bad cells, but you're also killing good cells. Yes. And I think about that because my grandfather actually had colon cancer probably 20 or so years before he died. And they took a piece of his colon out, but he didn't do anything else. No radiation, no chemo, no nothing. And he was fine for probably 20 some years. And by the time, it had come back, it spread everywhere, but he was 80 some years old and he was ready to go. Because my grandmother had already passed a few years. And so he was missing her, and because we were all shocked. He lasted even a year after she left, because they had been together 60 some years or whatever. And he was missing her. So I think that part of me thinks that maybe he opened the door to that so he could go. I really believe that, because it's like he was fine up until that point. Girl, he had retired and he still worked more, I think, after he retired than he did before. You know what I mean? Because he would, he was a plumber, so he would go and fix people's water and toilet and different things and stuff. And it was like, and he would work at his church and different stuff, so I was like, man. But when I look at that, and then my grandmother, same thing. On the other side, she had breast cancer at 80. And she chose to just let them take the lump out. And that was it.
I was 35. Yeah.
You were how old?
I was 35.
Yeah. See, that's hard. Because you're right in the middle of that time where, you're raising your kids, trying to do what you do and trying to live and still trying to deal with this. So the fact that you honored your body is like, that's huge for me. I actually read part of your story. You did a post one time a couple of years ago when you were talking about it. And I was like, man, that is so powerful. That was actually one of the reasons why I connected with you, because I thought that was the most awesome thing, and then as I as I was in your world, because I think I did a challenge with you once or twice, and I've seen, some of your stuff. I was like, man, she's awesome and powerful, and that's, like I said, that's when I wanted to talk to you too. I was like, I got to have her on the show. I was like, because she is so powerful. I was like, just your aura.
So to clarify, this human is not powerful at all. It's the being that has all the power.
Yes.
So, this is just the living cross, the living sacrifice. That's all
I love
it is.
that.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now as far as how are you helping people?
I have been helping and continue to help. I'm a professional linguist, and I've been getting
And tell me what that is.
Yeah, my specialty is nonverbal communication.
Oh,
I'm a master's level sign language interpreter, and so right now I'm working with second grade level, and it's been just a joyride. I have a 8-week contract with this this one client, and I've been doing it for over 25 years, and I've been in the coaching business the whole time. So this whole time, we do challenges and those kind of things, but something has brought me more for programming and developing. And so now I do my coaching more on my YouTube and our podcast. So opening up to those and keeping that going. We talk about like quantum healing codes and reprogramming your reality and tools that you can use, because not every tool is good for everything and doesn't fit all sizes. So it's like, okay, we have this wealth of knowledge, but knowledge isn't going to wake us up.
No.
You gotta use the tool.
Yeah.
And experience it, and then go, okay, that experience
Yes.
is what created this space to reach for the light through the mud, right?
Yes.
And finally awaken. So at least that's what everybody's goal. But with programming and neuro-linguistic programming and language and linguistics, they go hand in hand so well that when I've discovered that through Gary Flint and his work, he just passed away last year. But he discovered that you can teach this larger unseen part of us how to do the integration work. And the results that we have been getting is phenomenal. So I've been sharing that. I'm hoping to release it real soon, once copyright, trademark, all that stuff is all done. And my goal is to give that information away for free.
That sounds like what was that thing? Something fusion. The thing that's supposed to help with the electricity, cold fusion or something. That's what that sounds like.
Awesome.
Like a huge concept like that would change the world. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. I posted it on Udemy for like 3 days, and I had like 2,100 downloads. And so I took it off because it wasn't finished being trademarked and copyrighted and all that stuff. So once it's all done, then we're giving it to the world. So
that is like, I felt that.
And it's using your own nervous system, teaching your nervous system how to process that stuff that's coming up. You know how guys, they don't want to get in touch with their feelings?
Yes.
Well, this is a way where they can put a number to how they're feeling, the tightness they're feeling. It's like, the tightness is a 10. They don't have to call it anger. Am I touching with my feelings? I don't want to get in touch. I have 4 brothers, so I know about this, So working with this, and then kids get this. It's making the subjective, making it objective. So with that shift right there, integration is already beginning. So it's really powerful.
I can imagine. Oh my God. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for that. So how did you actually get involved in all of this? Besides, I really want to know how you got to be the linguist. I really want to know that, because that is not a common thing that you don't hear about that.
There's not a lot of us on this level, but you'll see sign language interpreters a lot more, especially in big cities when they do announcements, you'll see the person in the bubble doing interpreting. So
I used to have one in my church, I remember.
And I do consulting and that kind of stuff. So that's like the brunt, but along the way, I've learned about the body and how it works and how it heals, and the nervous system and personal psychology, not so much therapeutic psychology. I went through that. And boy, every time I went to go see the therapist, my nervous system was inflamed.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, really? Every time I'm inflaming my nervous system, and it's going through the trauma again. Again. So you don't go through.
So it's re-traumatizing you.
Exactly. So this integrates. There's no re-traumatizing.
Because the thing about it is, if you think about it, you don't want to be re-traumatized.
It's bad for your nervous system. Yeah.
I mean, I was good the first time and dealt with that and all that. And, yeah, it's, do you find that many people that have dealt with extreme trauma, when they come see you, because I know you see them, when they come see you, that they are surprised that you are able to help them in a way that is unconventional?
Yeah, the words sometimes I get are, I feel I've been truly born again, because then they can tell the story with no emotional reaction at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it starts with permission. I don't do a thing. The only thing I do is teach. There's 3 parts of you. We know this: our focus, awareness, and attention. What's going on in the unconscious? We don't know what's going on down there. And then the subconscious, which sees both. So we teach the subconscious how to integrate what comes up in the unconscious.
Nice.
And we teach it through allegory and story. So as I'm speaking to people and I'm telling them this allegory and the story, the mind goes, why is she talking about that? But the subconscious goes, got it.
That is, yeah. Because the thing is, even if people are not at the level where they're wanting to receive, their subconscious will get it. And so that's, I really truly believe, and I actually learned this technique years ago. I think I was a teenager. My grandmother showed me, but I didn't realize then the magnitude of it. She was like, you speak to their spirit. You speak to their spirit. Don't talk to them, because they're not going to get you on that level, on the conscious level. But she would say, speak to their spirit. And so that's what I learned how to do. I was a teenager at that time.
My spirit, his name's Albert. High five.
Hey boy, how you doing? So hey, how you doing? What's up?
Exactly. And so what's important when we begin this process is we start with permission. And I use a pendulum to ask 4 questions or answer 4 things. It's a yes, no, a maybe, because sometimes childlike things come up from the unconscious. Yes. So it'd be like, well, maybe, and then polarized. So energetically, so awesome. I know mine is probably over there on the shelf.
I was gonna say I have mine just sitting on the table, because I was playing with them earlier, because I had bought this one, which is
I love it.
Amethyst one, right?
I love that one.
And this one, some native guy in Tucson made.
Oh, I love this one. This is Moonstone.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, I love it. Love it.
Yeah. So I'll start out with
from
permission.
Somebody else.
Oh, I love that. Good that you're doing it.
But yeah, so you guide them to allow themselves to give them permission, right?
I help them set up their healing team.
Okay.
And their healing teams consist of 3 things: their focus, awareness, and attention. What's happening in the unconscious, we don't know. It's like the captain of the ship doesn't know what's going on underneath, right?
Right.
And then the 3rd part, this part sees both. It sees what you're focused on, and it sees what's going on in the unconscious. This is the part we can teach how to integrate what comes up. And it's fabulous.
That is powerful. That is so powerful. Oh my God.
And once the person knows how to do it, they don't need me anymore. Their team is assembled. They know what to do. Well, so as I'm working with someone, I anchor the work. So using hypnosis, anchoring the work.
I was going to say, because that, to me, I know, oh goodness, I've seen it so much where, because I'm very much like you. I'm going to teach people how to fish thing, you know, because I don't really want to work with people forever. I mean, you know what I mean? I just don't. I don't want to do it that way. I want to teach people to fish so that they can
I
do
don't
this for
need to
themselves.
work with someone all the time. You know, there are times where it's like, okay, I'm moving along, and then I realize, okay, I got a mindset issue about this. I need some help. And so then help shows up. I mean, it just shows up.
I love it.
And then
I
I'm
love
able
it.
to work through it. Okay, great. Now I'm moving along. Okay, here comes something else. Something else is happening. I can't find my way. That's when we need each other.
Yes.
We need each other.
That is powerful right there, because, you know, I see so many healers that they don't get help from other healers.
And then they end up projecting on their people.
Yes.
Everything they're not healing.
You're like, no, see, no. Because I had somebody laugh, and I said, listen, if you're a massage therapist, you can't rub your own body. You need somebody else to rub you. Usually doctors have other doctors. Lawyers have other fucking lawyers. You know, what is the problem? Why do you people not realize that sometimes even as a healer, you need some help? I know I did. And I started reaching out because I actually had a reading from somebody, and I can't remember who it was, but they gave me a reading, and they were like, you got to reach out, you know, to people if you need, you know, because I know for me, I was afraid to do it, you know, because you see so many things, especially when you first come in this arena, especially online. It's like, oh my God, you know, she's a whatever, and she's way over here and this, that, and the third. But, you know, the thing of it is we all need help. We all need help. Doesn't matter who we are. Don't, you know, doesn't matter what you do. You need somebody sometimes just to bounce shit off of. You know what I mean?
I do. And I think there's something weird happening with my camera.
It looks like it's the light is going.
But there's no light. So I'm like, where's that coming from? What's going on?
Well, you know what? It could be, you know, some of these guys and angels popping in, because we are talking about some good stuff.
This is amazing stuff. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
I am so super excited. It really has, because I mean, I've been wanting to talk to you for, I think it's been about 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Awesome.
I think we actually were going to do it one time, and something happened. I think I couldn't do it, and then maybe you couldn't do it, and we were like, okay, and so it kind of went by the wayside. And then I seen your email, I was like, I need to get this girl on my stage.
I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad.
This has been so much fun. So
awesome.
Share with the people where they can connect with you, or the best places to connect with you. And if you want to share, if you have any thing that you're offering or whatever, you can talk about that. And so we can, because we're gonna have to close out. But it's been so
awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm Heartfelt Awakening, heartfeltawakening.com, heartfeltawakening@gmail.com. And our podcast is Heartfelt Awakening, but our YouTube, we're switching to reality programming. So as reality programmers, taking these tools and applying them to ourselves. So that's what our YouTube is kind of shifted and focusing on. As I'm shifting my career, I'm doing more programming work with building websites, and I have a license to make any website ADA compliant. So anybody with visual issues, seizure type issues, they can just click on the website and make it so that it's accommodating.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Disability. And most business owners don't know that there's actually a law. So you might want to look into it. And we offer this as a service, but any programmer can make websites, you know, compliant, you know. It takes a little extra work and effort.
I was gonna say, I guess if you think about it, it's almost like when they put handicap accessible things in apartments and houses and hotels and stuff like that.
Right. So public places have to be accessible. A website is a public place.
Who knew?
So this is under I want to say Title 1 or no, Title 3 or 4.
Yeah,
probably
I know what you're talking
of
about.
the ADA, with Americans with Disabilities Act. And really, it's the license that we use. It actually is better for your SEO, and Google takes a look at those websites that make their website accessible, and they rank them higher. At least that's what they're doing right now.
Awesome.
So some positives, and it's
definitely
not
have to have a conversation.
So those are all the things I do. I know in the beginning I said I'm Fletch, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
And you really are.
Yeah, I love it.
But you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To be honest with you, I feel the same way because I'm like, I feel multidimensional.
Yes,
because I love doing this and I love the healing work, but I also love to help people write books. Do book consulting. I like all that stuff. And I'm also doing something with real estate investing. So I'm like, why do you have to be one-dimensional?
You don't. I mean, I'm working with a client right now and I'm helping him program his Roku channel.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that was a thing.
Yep. And then next he wants to put it on Amazon Fire as an app. Yes, that is a thing. You can, yep, I can help. I do that. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
And programming those things isn't any different than programming ourselves.
Oh, now that's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
That really is. If you think about it, it's like, okay.
Think of the word routines. When you're setting up a program, you set up routines. What do you got to do to this program? Set up routines.
Set up routines. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
y'all.
been amazing, darling.
I was going to say it's been amazing. I have enjoyed this. As Abraham Hicks says, I've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It's been so good. I have been wanting to talk to this beautiful soul for so long, and I hope that she realizes I count her as one of my soul sisters. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm super honored that she has graced my stage. So if you are enjoying this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe it when you see it on YouTube, and that you register, subscribe on any other platform that it's on, because it's on Anchor, it's going to be on Spotify, it's on Listen Now, Radio Breaker, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all these other places that I can't remember right now, but it's out there. So if you are looking for Straight Outta Savannah, you can find it anywhere. And if you are looking for help with your reality programming, you might want to reach out to Sister Deni Van, because she can help you. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. It's been amazing. I have loved it. I wish I could talk to her for 5 hours. So we will be back again next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye now.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Outta Savannah, Talking with Tammi.